Hey Freebs Nation, Jordan Page from FunCheaperFree.com here. And I had a bit of a grocery haul that I'm using for food storage. Let's walk through it and see what I bought, how much I paid, and what I'm gonna do with it. Yeah, let's do it. As you know, I am back making weekly YouTube videos. I took the summer off so I could develop some of my new products, such as our kid and teen planners, our meal plan subscription, and some other exciting things in the works that you haven't seen yet. But I'm back, and one of your top requests was shop with me. You wanted to see food I buy, what I pay for it, where I get it, and most importantly, what I do with it. So this is a little bit of a special grocery run that I will walk through in detail. But I spent my budget this week on food storage food. What that means is it's not necessarily food that I plan to use right away, but it's food that I plan to store in my fridge, freezer, or pantry so that I have a stock on hand that I can make frugal meals with whenever I need to. One thing you might not know is that, like I mentioned earlier, I actually have a shelf cooking meal plan subscription that recently launched. It's a great way for me to help you cook dinner every single night. One of the things we do is we will give you a protein such as pork, let's say. We'll show you how to cook it and then how to reuse it throughout the week so that you don't waste anything. So this shopping trip, it had a little bit of my meal plan subscription in mind because I'm not just going to store this meat whole in the freezer for all of it. I'm actually going to prep and pre-cook some of it right now and then freeze it so that my meals are even faster and even easier. So first things first, let me walk through what I bought and how much I paid, and then I will show you what I mean by prepping and storing it. Yeah? Let's do it. As most of you know, if you've watched my previous grocery shopping videos, I will link some of those below. I love shopping at Walmart and Costco. Those are kind of my two main places that I shop, and I trade them off. So Walmart, I really focus on food, and then Costco, I focus a lot on consumables. Head to my other videos to figure out what that means. But what that means is I have a budget every single week. I recommend $100 per person in your family per month, starting at $300. With COVID, I will tell you prices are definitely higher now. I'm seeing it in everything. So if you need to up that to $125 per person per month, do it, that's fine. Just set your budget and stick with it. So for me, with my family of 10, I get $1,000 per month for groceries. Broken down, that is $250 per week for groceries. Now, I spent my entire budget this week on stock up food. It's very protein heavy because I needed to restock my pantry. I'm getting a little low on my protein. So this is not a typical shopping trip for me, but it is within budget, and I will show you. Walmart, for example, has really good day-to-day prices, but they don't run sales very often. So be sure to check your local stores as well, because sometimes they will have killer blowout, doorbuster, or loss leader sales on certain items to get you in their store. I went into our local store called Smith's, and I really focused on shopping the sales they had this week and not much else, and that's what I focused on stocking up on. Here's what I got. Okay, it is fall, so you are going to see baking goods going on sale as we are all focusing on our lovely holiday desserts and different things. I grabbed a few bags of sugar that were on sale, and powdered sugar and brown sugar. These are things you should always have on hand. My rule is 1 for now, 2 for later. If you focus on the rule of 1 for now, 2 for later, you will always have a good rotation of things in your pantry, so you don't always have to run to the store every time you need to cook or bake. Powdered sugar, brown sugar, granulated sugar, and then these were on sale for only 59 cents, so I grabbed 3 of those because why not? All right, crushed tomatoes. I did the 1 for now, 2 for later rule because I actually need a can of crushed tomatoes for dinner this week. And as a reminder, if you guys have seen my segments on Rachel Ray, you know that she and I have lots of discussions about how brands don't matter. They don't. Rachel Ray herself agrees with me. What happens is Kroger, for example, they a lot of times have the exact same ingredients, the exact same food inside their can as everybody else. It just gets a different label slapped on it at the end of the conveyor belt. So don't fall into the trap that thinking that the can of crushed tomatoes that is 50% or 100% more than this can makes it more valuable or a better quality product. It's just not true. So I will almost always err on the side of buying store brand versus name brand, and you will see that in my shopping today. Okay, moving on. Pumpkin, Libby's pumpkin, the name brand, was $2.50 per can. I am completely out of pumpkin, so I bought a bunch of these, and the Kroger brand was only 99 cents per can. I was able to get more than 2 times the amount for the same price, so I got 8 of those. These were on sale for $1 a piece. Peanut butter does not have an indefinite shelf life. It does go stale after a while, so keep that in mind, but we go through a lot of peanut butter, so I felt totally fine getting 8 of those. They were having a sale on dressing. It was 3 for $5, which was a great price. And I bought 3 ranch dressings because that is my family's favorite. And then otherwise I just kind of got a variety of other things. Poppy seed is our second favorite, if you can't tell. I use Italian and balsamic for cooking quite a bit. So anyway, these salad dressings are inexpensive and they have a nice long shelf life and they're great to have on hand. All right, let's talk about meat and cheese. Their cheese was on sale for 2 bags for $6. Normally, I will actually buy huge bags of cheese, but sometimes those are a little harder to freeze and store. And I compared the sale price of these smaller bags with the unit price, which is usually like per ounce price of the big bags, and this still was cheaper. So since I was there, since these are already in smaller bags that are much easier to store, I stocked up on some of these. I mostly got mozzarella. I bought several bags of that because we do not go through bags of mozzarella quite as fast. So I do actually prefer buying them in smaller bags, though you can buy the huge bulk bags and then just divide them into freezer Ziplocs and freeze them that way. I was just kind of being lazy. They were on sale and the price was fair, so why not? So these, the way I store them is I will actually toss them in the freezer exactly like this. Shredded cheese freezes so great. And in fact, like I said, our mozzarella, we don't go through it quite as fast as cheddar. So I will actually just store it in the freezer all the time. And then if I end up needing a cup or 2 for a meal, I will just dump it out frozen and let it thaw in my measuring cup while I'm preparing the rest of my meal. So then I never have to worry about wasting any cheese. So I got some cheddar, we go through that really fast, mozzarella, and then Mexican blend. And like I said, these I'm just gonna throw straight in a freezer drawer as is. They were having great sales on their meat. Let me walk you through it. So over here, we've got our beef. As you can see, this normally would be $15 for the package, but it was on sale for only $11.53. Keep in mind, what you need to look at is not always the price you pay, but how much you save and the price per pound or ounce. You just wanna make sure that you're not getting sold just on a sales sticker, but that it actually is saving you money, and this is a great deal. So I bought 1, 2, 3 of these that were saving me at least $3 per package. And these I will actually throw in the freezer as is. But I do have a vacuum seal machine that you've seen in my other videos. I will link one of my meat storage videos down below. And to vacuum seal it, it will keep it a little fresher in the freezer. My 1 for now, 2 for later rule is going to apply to this. Normally, I would freeze this raw and just throw it in the freezer as is. But in this case, I'm actually going to cook up a bunch of this meat, like I mentioned earlier, and freeze it pre-cooked because I've been so busy lately. I just really need help with even faster meals, and that's one way to do it. So I'm probably going to take one of these, cook it right away and freeze it cooked, and the other 2 I will freeze raw. Over here, we've got London broil. These were also a great deal, normally $19, on sale for $13.50. I saved $5.47 per package. If you see a bright shiny sticker, that's a good sign. You wanna look for those. These I'm not going to pre-cook. I am going to vacuum seal them in their juices so that they freeze really well. Though technically you could throw it in the freezer just like this if you really wanted to. Okay, they're pork loin. Pork is a nice inexpensive meat at only $2.99 per pound, and it is a really great stretch meal. It's a lot of meat for a good price, so I always look in the pork section. In this case, once again, I'm saving quite a bit per package with the sale they were having. So these, I'm actually going to cook both of these up today in my crock pot right away. They're great for tacos, casseroles, so many things. Ground beef, these were also on sale. I got them for $12.45. I saved $4 per package. Now this is not super lean beef, but I'm not afraid of that. The super lean beef is just way more expensive. I don't mind the flavor of the more fatty stuff. All you need to do is, as you're cooking it, add a little bit of water and it'll drain off way more fat, and then it makes it a lot more lean without having to pay the price. I'm going to cook up 2 of these packages totally as is and then freeze one of them raw. Cooked ground beef freezes so great, and it makes it so easy for taco soups or burritos or casseroles to just have it pre-cooked and ready to go. This last one that I'm going to freeze raw, I'm actually going to break it up into 1 pound portions because it is extremely rare that I would need this much meat in one sitting, and that's a lot to thaw out. So always break it down into smaller packages if you're going to freeze it raw especially. Okay, over here I have got some pork butts that are pre-seasoned. One thing that I teach and preach is to avoid food where the work has been done for you, because oftentimes you will pay more. So the fact that this is pre-seasoned typically means you would pay more per package, but in this case, they were having it on sale, and it smells amazing and looks amazing, and these are the only pork butts offered. So I thought, why not? They were a good value and they look and smell amazing, but normally I would say avoid pre-seasoned or pre-pepped food because you will spend more. Okay, and last but very not least, chicken. One of the things I have been teaching for a decade now is to keep a price notebook on hand. I have a blog post about this. I'll find it and I'll link it below. But essentially, know your prices. Don't rely on a sticker or a sign at the store or me to tell you what's a good deal or what's not. I used to keep this little book in my purse, and every time I would see a sale price on something like chicken or pork or lettuce or strawberries or cereal or whatever, I would write it down in my book, and that became my new marker, that I feel like if I see something at this price or lower, it's now in my head a good price. By doing that, I have become a pro at knowing my prices. This really helps, especially at places like Costco, where things are all in bulk and it's hard to know if the package is a good deal or not because the package is so big. Make yourself a price notebook. One of the things that I learned when doing this price notebook years ago is that $1.99 per pound for boneless, skinless chicken breasts is just standard. That's a standard, good value Walmart price for chicken breasts. I saw that these packages of chicken at Smith's were only 99 cents per pound. That has me listening. Now here's the difference. It's 99 cents per pound, but they are bone in, skin on. But that does not scare me at all. 99 cents per pound is a great price, especially for Heritage Farms. That's a good brand. This is very good meat, ton of protein. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cook all of this chicken. I'm going to just throw it all in a crock pot with some basic generic seasonings. I'm going to collect the skins, pick out the bones, and then I will have pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds of pre-cooked delicious chicken in my freezer ready to go for just 99 cents per pound. These packages, like this entire package, was only $4.32. So for those of you who say you can't feed your family good quality food on a budget, au contraire. You just need to stock up when it's on sale, keep it on hand, prep it, store it, be wise with it, and don't waste anything. And you can absolutely feed your family on a dime. And again, if you don't intuitively know how to do this, or you don't have quite the confidence to figure it out yourself, check out my meal plan subscription because we walk you through it each and every week. I'll have that link below. Okay, so that is what I bought this week. You ready to see how much I paid for it? Let me show you. My grand total for everything you see here, which is weeks and weeks and weeks worth of food, is, wow, is that not the dirtiest phone you've ever seen? $280.13. The best part is I saved $75.40 with all the sales that I got. I saved 75 bucks, that's amazing. Yeah, it takes a little bit of work to prep and store all of this, but it's totally possible. Now, another question a lot of you guys have is, okay, well, where the heck are you gonna store all this food? I don't have a pantry, or I don't have an extra freezer. You know, I live in a tiny apartment, and you know what? That that is true. That's a challenge. We lived in a 2-bedroom townhome as newlyweds for 5 years. It was challenging. A few cabinets and a garage basically to store stuff in. If you are interested in a video on creative food storage solutions, will you like let me know in the comments below, or let me know what your specific questions are and maybe I'll make a video about it, but just get creative. My mom and my mother-in-law both don't have pantries at all. They do not have a pantry. So my mother-in-law, she took a cleaning cabinet, a cleaning closet, kind of like this one that I have with like brooms and stuff, and she turned that into her food storage. My mom has a cabinet that she has designated for food storage, and then both of them just get really creative in the garage or under beds. My aunt, she bought a little chest freezer. She has it in a guest room with a tablecloth over it and a lamp on top of it, so it looks like a nightstand. There are ways to get creative. You don't always have to have a bunch of freezers and fridges like I do in order to store food. It's just not true. You just have to get a little creative for sure. Okay, I've got to get going, but I am going to prep this pork and stick it in the crock pot right now because we're gonna eat some of it tonight and store the rest. So let's get on with that. All right, so I have got some pork and chicken going in the slow cooker. You can be pretty basic with seasonings, or you can go bold like I did. You could simply cook it on low all day with just some salt and pepper. In my case, I wanted some flavor because I already have some plain meat and I wanted to store this stuff with some seasonings ready to go. So in here I have brown sugar, soy sauce, pineapple, and garlic. It'll give it kind of a sweet pork flavor. And then in here, I've just got my chicken with some generic chicken rub. That doesn't mean that you're married to these flavors. I can turn this chicken into taco chicken by adding taco seasoning or green chilies or enchilada sauce as I'm preparing the meal down the road. But it at least gives it some flavor to start with. I have these here. I'm just going to let them cook all day and then I'll break them down and store them for later. So easy. So there you go. That is a grocery haul slash food storage slash stock up trip. I hope that was helpful. What do you think? Give me a thumbs up if you want to see more videos like this and let me know in the comments below. If you do anything like this, if you have any questions or what you want to see next. Don't forget to subscribe, and I gotta hurry and go and put all this food away. So I will talk to you so soon. Bye guys.